Howdy folks, this is Saint Chad, and we are back with yet another episode of Monster Loves You. Last time we left off, we were in the middle of an Elderhood, and on our way to making the humans and monsters hate each other. So let us continue. Gobclaws unrolls a big map showing the surrounding region. She points one pincher at a series of red circles. These are places where I've seen humans drop things. I think we should put garbage cans there. Gobclaw says, so we can harvest the things they drop, then we can study them and understand them better. Gobclaw nods. We can figure out if they're planning an attack by looking at what they leave behind. If we see whetstones and knife oil, we know they're going to come kill us. You point to several other spots and tell Gobclaws that our observations are incomplete. They drop more things here. You soon convince the group to plant garbage cans where you've seen humans drop their foulest waste products. Soon everyone will be disgusted by the results. You're splashing through rain gutters when you spy a human on the steps below. She snuffles and sobs into a tissue. A crumpled letter lies beside her. You slide down a gutter and squat beside the human. She squeaks, then holds very still when you don't attack her. Finally, she says, you want to know why I'm crying? My parents say I must marry Ernst, but I do not love him. I just wish he'd go away. It takes 2 bites, but you make short work of her. By the time you're done, the only thing left is her crumpled letter, dissolving away in the rain. Elder Gobclaws rages at the other monsters. She crushes some stray lizards as she screams, admit it! Humans are dangerous! Let us smash them to bits! Down with the humans. You grab the human music box that Gobclaws often carries and smash it on the ground. See those sharp pieces? Every artifact is like a trap. An older human and many children sit in rows in a hot, echoing room. The older human drones on while the children look at everything but him. The windows, the clock, even your hiding spot. He's telling them about lifeology. You know about that, but judging from his expression, he doesn't seem to find it very interesting himself. Boring conversation anyway. You spring into the little room, spread your claws, and shriek. All the children scream and flee. Oh yes, so easy. One of the children had been sitting very still and his foot was asleep. Well, it's not asleep anymore. Now it's gone! You run off into the alley and head for the forest, dragging the last few scraps of your meal. Alright. We are completely zeroed out. 4 days to go. Jaggery drinks deep from a jar of cider. He belches and the air goes wavy. Jaggery raises one claw. Humans! Humans are stupid. Lazy, worthless, stupid. And I'll fight any monster who says otherwise. Everyone nods. Jaggery waves his jar, sloshing cider everywhere. Yeah, drinking. You're investigating a stack of crates in an alley. You hear a shriek. Wait, it's a small child. He runs in, followed by 3 slightly larger ones. The small one jumps behind the crates to hide. Next to you. The victim is surprisingly fast and escapes before the others. In the end, you take a chunk out of the slowest one's leg before he escapes. Delicious. Unfortunately, the torch and pickfork crowd uses your little snack as an excuse to hurt monsters the next night. They don't catch any, but they're pretty mad. Elder Riddy wants to stop using electricity from the humans. It's making us less monstrous, he exclaims. And it's a human thing, through and through. You shuffle forward and raise one claw, clearing your throat. All the elders turn to look. Riddy says, ah, you agree with me? You leap up, cut an overhead power line, and suck the oily electrical fluid from it. Your whole body lights up and blammo! When you come to, you're surrounded by burned grass and elders debating whether to consider humans with access to electricity a threat or a menace. You're in a secluded hiding place near the park. Suddenly, you see a human grab her stomach and fall over. The human coughs once and lies perfectly still. After a long while, a white truck comes and the empties climb out. They shake their heads and load her into the truck. As you walk through Portland Square, you think on your past. Life hasn't always been easy, but you've built up your reputation. You are quite well respected. It saddens the more progressive elements of monster society, but the truth is this. Too many monsters violently fear and loathe humans, then like and admire them. Meanwhile, human sentiment is still mostly stacked against monsters. Humans just don't like you that much. Some humans hate you. Shattering your reverie, a terrible commotion erupts. Elders and younger monsters alike are milling about in a great mob. Smart glides by overhead, whistling an alarm. Blistery interprets for her friend. He says the humans are on the move and headed towards Omen. The oldest monster rises from the waters of Eight Arm Lake and wades onto shore. It bares its claws as everyone moves out of reach. Half the monsters are afraid, the other half want to fight. The whole mob seems to be waiting for a strong leader to emerge and tell them what to do. You are well respected, and so you are appointed the general of all monster forces. Your forces advance on the humans gathered in the meadows to the north. You marshal all your intelligence and try to conceive of a daring assault on the humans. You did it! The humans are caught off guard, and their outer guards are slaughtered en masse. The remainder begin to flee. As you watch them run, you feel sure that they'll be back. Even if you only kill the soldiers, someday their children will come for you. Monsters laugh and dance where humans once lived. Now, the world is yours. We killed all the humans. Alright, so we ended 30% brave, brave, 100% clever, 16% ferocious, 100% honest, 100% kind, and 51% respected. Alright, so we've now danced on their graves. So let's go ahead and jump back in. A lot of it is repetitive, even though we have many different endings. So we'll go ahead and make this the last run through. Help me begin your story. How does it go again? That's right. Long ago, nestled in the heart of the forest was the monster village of Omen. You are born from slime that holds the memory of monsters known for actions and attitude. You're not awake yet, but soon your first eye will open. Your simple dreams will give way to life itself. You dream of... Your body is turning and twisting, growing solid in the middle of a great vat of green slime. It's time to be born. You awaken in the thawing season when the ground is soft and wet. Your eye is open. You're a morsel, just barely born. You float in the spawning vat. Dozens of other morsels are exploring, flailing, and stealing food from each other. Okay, we're gonna be kind of a lazy, timid monster this time. You close your eye and breathe for a while. You are at peace. As long as you live, you will always remember this one moment of perfect, transcendent calm. You open your eye again and smile with a new-formed mouth. There are many other morsels here. Perhaps they will be your friends. Another morsel swims towards you. It opens its mouth to show a set of small, sharp teeth. It bites you. Run away. You kick with new legs and paddle with new arms. Squeak with a new mouth and cry tears of slime from your glistening eye. The aggressor is left in your wake. It turns and latches onto another morsel. Your strokes become stronger and more confident as you escape. Behind you, the violent morsel tears its new victim apart. Splash, flutter, splish, squeak. Another morsel is too weak to swim properly. It's sinking toward the bottom of the spawning vat. You watch the half-formed baby monster slip beneath the surface. It begins to break apart. You gaze unblinking as the little morsel dies. The weakling's limbs stick to the slimy clumps on the bottom and then tear away from its body. The little morsel's mouth forms a terrified toothless O and then splits in 3 directions, forming the center of the fault lines that destroy its torso and head. The last you see of the morsel is its eye, which, now without a lid, floats there, seeming to stare right back at you. Then it dissolves into sludge, and the sludge dissolves into nothing. You have grown too big for the spawning vat. You must move on to your next stage of life and become a monsterling. Growing up isn't something you can fight, little one. You have grown too big. You're going to get into some trouble, which is great. Exercise your bravery, cleverness, ferocity, kindness, and honesty. What kind of monster will you be? Three gangly adolescent monsters wander into the cave and start poking Gobclaws with sticks. She tries to get away, but they surround her. Blistery starts to cry. The adolescents continue to poke Blistery with the sticks until they get bored, then they leave. Blistery hides in a hole and won't come out for hours. On a walk around the cave, you notice a closed door set in the back of the wall. You don't remember seeing it before. Because it's not ajar? Yep. There are scratching and growling sounds coming from the other side. Your pulse begins to race. After you tell her, Marinus nods. It's nothing important, just storage for extra algae. Wait a second, you told her about the noises and she ignored it. You return to the door and notice that the noises are much quieter now. A roly-poly fox stumbles into the brood cave, leans against a rock, and coughs. It looks vaguely at you and the other monsterlings, showing no fear. While you stand idly by, Nash pounces on the fox, tears off its head, and eats it. Blots and Gobclaws move in for a few bites, which Nash graciously shares with them. They finish the fox off and throw its tail into the lichen pile. Some monsterlings are building little stone towers. Blots comes to you with a heaping armload of smooth rocks. Do you think this is enough to build a tower? You tell Blots he has too many rocks. He gives you half of them. You quickly build a statue that looks vaguely like Blots, carrying an armful of rocks. The other monsterlings look on in amusement. Even Blots seems to enjoy it, though his own tower has suffered. You are halfway towards leaving becoming an adolescent. Firm up your personality as much as you can. Blistery climbs on top of the lichen pile. She refuses to let any other monsterling eat, proclaiming herself ruler of the lichen pile. You flee to the other side of the cave and tell Elder Marinus what's happening. Marinus asks, "What do you expect me to do? Solve your own problems." Big old Hamrag comes to the cave with a box full of metal cans. He says it's drink or douse day. Those cans are full of what humans call soda pop. Bubbly liquid sugar, you bet. But they also like to see who can chug the most or endure the most exploding metal cans at once. You drink a can of soda pop. Refreshing. You drink another can of soda pop. Ooh, those bubbles are building up in your belly. The third can of soda pop is tricky to chug, but chug you do. This one isn't sweet, but it's still full of bubbles, and so are you. Nash tumbles into you, screaming, and chased by Sickle, who is also screaming. You're chatting with Gobclaws and Blistery when a foul stench wafts in. Monsterlings all over the cave are shivering and holding their noses. It's Blotz, Gobclaw says. Someone's gotta tell him. He stinks, but not the way monsters should. Blotz sees your group and makes his way over. Gobclaws and Blistery retreat. You throw a bit of rotten lichen at Blotz, which actually makes him smell a little better. He slumps and waddles away. Hammerhag, an adult monster, sleeps in a big pile of monsterlings. Everyone is comfortable. Blotz, giggling, sticks lichen in all 4 of Hammerhag's nostrils. Hammerhag's eyes shoot open as he starts to choke. Blotz shushes you with a threatening scowl. You jab a stick into one of Hammerhag's nostrils, and there's an explosion of snot. Ugh. All the monsterlings are covered. Hammerhag rages and punches the cave wall, shattering stone without even using his claws. Who did this? Who plugged me up? You wordlessly point to Blotz. He starts to protest, but Hammerhag jumps up and down on him, splattering him into slime, claws, and fur. Naturally, as Blotz slowly pulls himself together, Hammerhag delivers a lecture on pranks. But he still has some lichen in his nostrils, and you have to work very hard not to laugh at him. Oh my. You wake up and find that you're no longer a little monsterling. You're growing up. Elder Marinus calls the oldest monsterlings to gather in a group. You're one of the oldest ones now, so you should join them. She looks grave. You squeeze behind a big boulder at the back of the cave. There's a wide tunnel behind it, big enough for an elder. Oops! Marinus slides the boulder aside. She and the other monsterlings are surprised to find you there. Oh, says Marinus. You're certainly eager to go. Marinus shuffles down the long tunnel, turning this way and that among dozens of forking passages. Marinus stops in a warm, humid chamber with a pit in the floor. She points to the pit, which seethes with thick mist. Marinus pushes you in with a sweep of her tail. It all seems so reckless. You fall and fall and fall some more, and you're falling and falling. Some of them are crying. Is it fog or mist or maybe clouds? Moans and groans and whispering screams. You land on smooth flat stone. Despite the swirling vapor, the floor is dry as a bone. You hear other monsterlings breathing nearby. Some of them are still above you, still falling. You rejoin some of the monsterlings at the edge of the mist. There are more passages out of here than you can count. Some monsterlings begin to panic while others look determined. The other monsterlings continue to mill around in the misty caverns. One of the biggest monsterlings starts to walk with a determined stride. You and the others follow, soon coming to a round cave full of even thicker mist. You lose sight of everyone. The chamber swirls with mist, smoke, fog, vapor, except it's not any of those things. It's ghosts. Hundreds of them, large and small, they're everywhere. Spooky. One by one, the pale ghosts begin to turn their attention to you. Their eyes glow different colors. The ghosts speak in many voices, all hollow and distant, all in unison. They ask you, do you fear? Your answer echoes back to you, louder and louder. You crouch down, trying to hide from the noise, and fall unconscious. Okay, 29% honest, 22% clever, 4% kind, I am not brave or ferocious, and there's no respect. Alright, well, we have reached adolescence. So we'll go ahead and stop at this point and pick it up in the next episode. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time for more Monster Loves You.